Jake Paul rose to fame through his YouTube channel, known for his controversial behavior and his risky stunts. Now he's trying to make his way in the boxing ring, compiling a 3-0 record, including a win earlier this year against MMA fighter Ben Askren. Ahead of his fight in August against UFC vet Tyron Woodley, Paul sat down with our Lisa Hillary.
Tyron Woodley, the problem child, Jake Paul.
How do you think you match up against the 39-year-old?
I think it's a perfect matchup, to be honest. You know, it's going to be the hardest fight of my career thus far. You know, like you said, he's a 5-time UFC champion. He has knockout power. You know, he's been in there with some of the best fighters and is a UFC Hall of Famer.
I understand there's a tattoo on the line. Where did this come about? How did this come about?
Tyrone didn't want to take a bet before that had to do with money. So I was like, okay, let's make a fun little bet.
If I beat you, you have to get I Love Jake Paul tattooed on you. But if you beat me, I get I Love Tyron Woodley tattooed on me, and you have to post it on your Instagram feed. Deal or no deal.
So the fight just got even more exciting, and we'll see if he's a man of his word, because I'm gonna beat him, and we'll see if he gets the tattoo.
Jake, for those that aren't adept in the world of social media, why do you think that boxing has gained such an immense amount of traction in the social media community and so quickly?
I think the generation that's coming up, Gen Z, they love the back and forth. They love the controversy. They love the drama of the fights. And at the end of the day, you know, there's no other sport like boxing.
There are still fans that are tired of hearing about a social media star, a YouTuber turned boxer. What do you have to say to those fans?
I would say give it a chance. Like, I understand why people wouldn't be open to it at first, but me personally, I'm training just like a real fighter. My whole entire life is dedicated to this, from the meals to the recovery to ice baths, sparring, some of the best people in the world. Yes, I was a YouTuber. Yes, I was on Disney Channel, but now I'm a professional fighter.
You had a front row seat to the Conor McGregor-Poirier fight in Vegas. I want to hear from you. How did you see that fight play out?
I saw a man being Conor McGregor who is out of his element. It's almost like his act came crumbling down, and he's now being exposed for the lack of preparation, and I think the lack of commitment he has for the sport anymore. Dustin Poirier was winning the fight and snapped his ankle in half, and I was wearing my Sleepy McGregor chain that was almost like a voodoo doll, and that fruition came to life. He was asleep on the canvas after the fight.
You had previously offered him $50 million to fight you. Is that money still on the table?
No, my new offer is $23, which can buy you 23 McChickens. Conor McGregor, look, if you're watching this, man, take it while you can, because who knows, it might drop down to $10 after your next loss.
How important is it to you to be respected in the boxing community? Or do you care?
I don't necessarily care. However, all I want to do is add to the sport, because I love the sport. I think it's great. And I want to bring more eyeballs and attention so that everyone can grow, everyone can win. And I think the boxing community is starting to see that.
Would you ever consider fighting your brother, Logan?
We've considered it, we've talked about it. Our parents don't want us to do it. My dad is like, no, absolutely not. But I think we just might have to settle that. Like, I don't know if we can retire without making that happen. I think we both want to know.
Any plans to fight a ranked boxer?
For sure, yeah. Jake Paul versus Canelo Alvarez will happen in the next 3 years. He's going in there with guys who are smaller, shorter, and not as good as me. I plan on becoming a world champion, and I plan on beating Canelo Alvarez.
Wow. I'd like to see Canelo and Jake Paul in the ring, that's for sure.